I know you saw the thumbnail and I know your mouth is probably salivating. So with that being said, let's get to cooking. First thing we want to do is add a small amount of oil to the pan. We're going to follow up with adding some butter. All right. If you want to add salted butter, you definitely can because that's what I'm using. But remember to cut back on the salt if that's a thing that you don't want to, if you don't want to add a lot of salt, just cut back on the salt. We're going to allow the butter to melt on down before introducing our onions. These are diced onions, as you can see. We're going to go ahead and mix it on up. We're going to lose some onions along the way, right? What can I say? Especially if you're stirring it like me, right? I'm just tossing everything around like a maniac. No, I'm just playing. All right, what we're going to add to this pan next is we're going to add our ground chicken to the pan next. All right, to get the cooking process started with our ground chicken. We're going to go ahead and break down our chicken. All right. And this is ground meat. So here's the thing. Anything that's refined is going to cook really, really quickly. It's not going to take any time whatsoever. All right, because we opted for ground chicken today, we're not going to have a ton of excess oil once the meat starts to render in the pan, right? Now, here's the thing. If you want to use ground beef or even, let's say, ground pork, and it's not a lean cut, then you can go ahead and add your seasonings last because, of course, you're going to have to get rid of some of that excess oil. But in my case, however, I'm going to go ahead and start to season. Let's add some chicken bouillon and ground black pepper. All right, that's going to be my salt for today. We're also going to add some of my all-purpose cooking with Tammy chicken seasoning, some smoked paprika. We're going to season up this meat really, really good. It's going to be so tasty. All right, we have our smoky element of flavor going on. Let's add some spice. All right, let's add some chili flakes. If you're feeding the little ones, you might want to scale back when it comes down to adding the red chilies, garlic powder. All right, onion powder, of course, and Italian seasoning. Come on, Italian seasoning, let's go. The onions are starting to become translucent, which is a great thing. All right, those onion flavors are going to get locked in to the ground chicken pretty soon. We're going to be incorporating this with pasta later, so we want to make sure we break down all of those little chunky bits. What I like about this meal is it's quick and easy in and out the kitchen, okay? It's suitable for a weeknight or a day where you feel like, something, I don't want to spend all night or all day standing up in the kitchen. I just want to get in and get out. Let's add our finely chopped garlic. And we're going to allow our garlic to saute until it becomes fragrant. After about a minute, we're going to go ahead and remove our ground chicken from the pan. Using the same pan, as I said earlier, right, we're going to be making our delicious creamy Parmesan sauce. So in order to do that, right, we need some butter, of course. Allow that butter to become nice and melted. And once it does, we're going to add some all-purpose flour. Not Aunt Jemima, not self-rising, but all-purpose flour. And the reason why we're adding the flour is because we want to create a thickening base when it comes down to making our sauce. Start to add the flour, of course. We're just going to add a small amount at a time because, as you can see, the butter is not fully melted yet, right? The more the flour tends to cook, is the better your sauce is going to taste towards the end. Once the all-purpose flour is toasted, then we can go ahead and start to add our other ingredients. Let's add our garlic. Stir that on up as well. Lower the flame because you're not making a gumbo, okay? You don't want your flour to turn really brown. That's not what we're aiming for. We're just trying to get some of those flavors to be cooked out of the garlic. Let's go ahead and add our half and half. All right, and at some point, the bottom of the pan is going to become deglazed, of course, because we just added liquid. But for now, we're just going to keep scraping the bottom of the pan with our whisk. Let's add some chicken broth. Stir that on in as well. All right, and I feel my pan is nice and smooth, so we're in business, okay? Once the pan is nice and smooth, we're in business. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and try to scrape down the sides because I want all of that delicious flavor to incorporate itself with the sauce. All right, perfect. Let's season. Let's add some onion powder. Light hand, of course. We're not gonna go in heavy. Let's add some garlic powder. Add some more Italian seasoning. Okay, smoked paprika. All-purpose cooking with Tammy seasoning. And for a little hint of spice, some crushed peppers. Get those chili flakes in there. We're also gonna add some savory, some sweet, and a little pinch of acidity. Our Worcestershire sauce. Perfect. Little pinch of salt and ground black pepper. And let's combine. This garlic parm sauce is going to be like a sauce that you have never tasted, okay? It's going to be awesome. It's going to taste really, really good. Remember, cooking is all about trying different things, trying new flavors, and not being afraid. Have a talk with that palate. Have a talk with the palate. Say, palate, open up and stop playing. We're going to be introducing new flavors. At least that's the goal in cooking with Tammy, okay? So if you rock with me, you're going to trust what it is that I'm telling you, because I'm not going to show you how to make anything that tastes nasty. You know what I'm saying? It's going to always taste delicious. If not, I'd rather tear the recipe up and throw it away. But this is going to be good. Trust me when I tell you. We want to cream this on up just a little bit more, okay? So let's go ahead and add some whipped cream cheese. Now here's the thing, if you have regular cream cheese, feel free to use the regular cream cheese. The only thing that I ask is that you allow the cream cheese to be room temperature, because it makes it so much easier when it comes to combining the cheese with the sauce. Just gonna go ahead and keep mixing. Make sure everything is perfectly incorporated. We're gonna allow the cream cheese to break down. Sauce is nice and thick and ready to go. You know what? I had some frozen spinach in the refrigerator, and I also had some fresh spinach, but I was like, you know something? The frozen spinach is already opened, all right, almost finished. So why not incorporate some spinach with our delicious garlic parm sauce? Now here's the thing. If you're going to be using frozen spinach, right, as I am using, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you squeeze all of that excess water out of the spinach. If not, woo, your sauce is going to be watery. If you're going to be using fresh spinach, nevertheless, what you are going to do is rinse it off really good, right? Especially since that warning came out about our veggies and fruits and stuff. So you're going to make sure you wash the spinach really, really well before incorporating it into your sauce, if you choose to add it. As you can see, it's making the sauce look absolutely beautiful. All right, we went ahead also after boiling our pasta and reserving about a cup of pasta water. That's going to be necessary later on as well, because we want our sauce to be even more creamier than what it is. We are going to add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. If it's one thing, Parmesan cheese steps all of the flavors up. It doesn't matter what you're adding the Parmesan cheese to. It enhances just about every single thing that you add it to. All right, and it also helped our sauce to thicken up even more. Wow. Perfect. Let's go ahead and remove the whisk. And I'm gonna add our pasta. For this particular recipe, I went ahead with penne pasta. However, feel free to use rigatoni pasta or any pasta that's tube-like, if you will, okay? Trust me when I tell you, because I know I say a lot of times that every dish that I make is pretty much universal. It's still gonna be universal, but I would prefer you to use a tube-like pasta, okay? Whether it be rigatoni or even penne pasta, because what's gonna happen is all of the delicious sauce that we've went ahead and created is gonna lock itself into the tube of the pasta, and it's gonna be so delicious. If you opt for spaghetti, I'm not against using spaghetti, but for this particular recipe, I feel that it's just gonna be heavy, right? Because the spaghetti is long and it doesn't have like any shape to it. Whereas penne pasta or rigatoni, you have those ridges. So our sauce is gonna not only lock into the tube part of the pasta, but it's also gonna cling onto the ridges as well, which is gonna be so much better. You know what I'm gonna do? Because we have some reserved pasta water on hand, gonna add a small amount of pasta water to loosen things up. Okay, add a little bit more because we want it to be nice and creamy, of course. And let's not forget about our ground chicken. That's perfectly seasoned. Add a little bit more of our pasta water. Loosen things up just a bit more. Because we have the spinach going on, we don't have to add too much parsley. because we already have our pop of greenery going on. Gonna add just a small amount of freshly grated Parmesan to the top. It's time for our taste test. That's it. We are finished. Woo! That was quick and easy. I'm super excited. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Check this one out. This is gorgeous. Woo! And just like I said, I could see the sauce inside of the little holes. Oh my goodness, of the pasta. I'm gonna put that right there. Add a little bit more cheese because I love cheese, okay? Not to mention it's nice and hot, so the cheese is gonna melt right into it. A banger. This is definitely a flavorful banger. This is, oh my goodness. Packed with tons and tons of flavor. Just like I said, when you bite into the pasta, you get that burst of cream. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is absolutely delicious. Cooking with Tammy fam. Make sure you give this pasta a try. Let me know what you think. The great thing about it is affordable, right? It didn't cost much as far as the ingredients, right? Because we all have staple seasonings in our pantry. So all we had to purchase was the half and half, the pasta, and what else? And the ground chicken. That was it. Everything else we had on hand. So like I said, cost affordable and absolutely delicious and quick and easy. And I want you guys to give this recipe a try and let me know what you think about it. Of course, don't forget to get your seasonings cookingwithtammy.shop. Check out my other website, Royalty Princess Gems. And that's about it, my loves. I'll catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later.